Wisp Prime, baby! I've had so many people ask me for my Wisp Prime build, and my answer is always the same. Which one? I don't do build videos for plenty of reasons, but Wisp is my most used frame without a doubt. So what better way than making my first build guide with my girl, Wisp Prime. But before we move into all the builds, I feel like we have to first go over her abilities. I don't think it would be more of a build video if I didn't go over the abilities. But since I hate so much yapping in build videos, I'll try to make this section short. Wisp's first ability is her motes. You can toggle which one you want to place, or use an augment to place all three at once. All of these motes will not only go to you, but to your team and even defense objectives. The first mote we have is the health mote. This will give you a flat bonus HP and also regenerates health to whoever has it. This is quite good for teammates and defense objectives who have high armor or base HP pools. Unfortunately, Wisp doesn't have a lot of base armor, so she really can't take full advantage of it like others can. But it still isn't a bad option since it can help with toxic Eximus and nullify them completely on Steel Path. The second one, and one of my favorites, is Haste Mote. Haste will give you and your teammates movement speed,
still fast as fuck, boy,
fire rate, and attack speed, making her one of the best weapon platformers in the game. This makes things like fire rate mods and attack speed mods completely unneeded for your builds. Yes, you can stack them if you want, but some weapons are just fine with only the haste mode. Having too much fire rate can make you constantly reload and run out of ammo pretty quickly, so you can place those mods instead of the ones I mentioned before. Lastly, we have is shock mode. Now if you've been around the channel already, you know already that I talked about why this mode is actually better than what people think. Shock mode, putting it simply, shocks enemies when you're near them. There is a cap of 5 enemies per shock, but this stacks with how many people you have on your team. So if you have a full party of 4 people, that means 20 enemies can be shocked at once. This will also proc Archon Stretch if you have it on, and if your teammates have it, it can also activate for them as well. It doesn't do any damage, but it's really good for the crowd control and the energy regen. Moving on to the second ability, we have Will-O-Wisp. She can summon a clone of herself that flies slowly wherever you aim. You can also swap positions when it's active if you want to hit him with the Boogie Woogie technique. You can hold down the button and the clone will actually speed up, and once you release the button, you can switch places automatically. If you also cast Wisp's third ability, Breach Surge, the clone will cast the ability as well. For the main reason her 2 is such a great tool is the you get when switching. That's right, you're literally when using her 2. You can spam to abuse them, and it's her main way for surviving in later levels. It's a great ability on its own, so think twice if you struggle a bit with surviving with her. Wisp's third ability is Breach Surge. I'm sure everyone knows what this does, but I'll explain it anyways. Breach Surge will multiply any damage to another enemy when damaging someone affected by Breach Surge. And yes, I mean any damage. amps, abilities, weapons, literally any sort of damage. With just 100% strength, this will do 2 times normal damage of whatever you hit with an enemy. Now if you damage an enemy, there is a 10% chance that Breach Surge will proc and go find another target. But if you kill an enemy, it's guaranteed 100% to go find another target. Not only that, but on kill, it will also make the Spark have 100% crit chance and 1.5 times crit damage on the next target. The Spark itself can also headshot, giving huge numbers. At base range, it can reach up to 18 meters, but Wisp has a cool feature when you teleport to her motes. It actually doubles the range. That's 36 meters with no range mods. Your clone will also get the double range buff if you cast that as well. This is also why I like to put my motes up in the air, because it's easier to teleport to your motes without things blocking your view of them. Breach Surge also blinds enemies, so not only is it good for damage, but also very good at stunning them. Wisp also has a great augment with Critical Surge. When you teleport to a mote, you get 250% crit chance for all your primaries. Sorry Helmith users. Though this is only additive and not multiplicative, but it's still great nonetheless. The last ability we have is Soul Gate. It fires a giant beam that does tick damage and slowly drains your energy. It unfortunately doesn't do a lot of damage, but it has a lot of other uses now, especially with the new augment, Cataclysmic Gate. This augment changes the ability entirely. Usually people use this as a subsume slot, but now with the augment, you can quickly cast the ability and leave a mini sun that does heat and radiation damage. Soul Gate also gets a bonus depending on what motes you currently have activated. Vitality Mote will boost your damage, and if you aren't using the augment, it will allow you to move a small bit faster when using the beam. Haste Mote allows Corrosive to be added to the radiation and heat damage it already does. You will need 2 green Archon shards if you want to fully strip. 1 Talforge green can already armor strip 90%. So 1 will already do enough as is. And if you use Shock, an enemy affected by Breach Surge will have a 100% chance to hit another enemy with a Spark. The augment also scales with range now, but honestly it's kinda neglectable since you can have up to 3 of them at once anyways. It also does have line of sight checks with the base of the ball, so be sure to keep that in mind when you do use the augment. You can rapid spam the ability to cancel the animation right away, so you can quickly put them down without them feeling interruptive to your gameplay. Then the last ability is her passive ability. Anytime Wisp is in the air, she can completely become invisible. Unfortunately, if you are shooting while airborne, you will turn visible again, even if your gun is silent. You can however use melee weapons in the air, and it will not break the invisibility. Anytime your shields are down, it's not a bad idea to keep jumping until your shields recharge. And that's all the basics about Wisp. I think that's enough yapping for now, so why don't we take a short break with a little bit of fashion.
Well, I caught your ass lacking. You thought it was another Wisp, didn't you? Let me show you actual peak, boy. Boom! It's Apex Gaming PCs, man! That's right, I'm here telling you about great deals again! Now, these 3 computers stand for PEAK. What's PEAK? Performance, efficiency, acrobatics, real good prices. Up first, we got the Apex Bronze. Everybody loves Apex Bronze. Look at that price point. That's good. Good to save up for the budget gamer in this economy, you feel me? Second coming is the Apex Streamer. Now, with everyone not wanting a 9-to-5 job, streaming's the next best thing, so I recommend this one. And for those who want more power, I got a special deal for you. The Apex Streamer Plus. Just like the streamer before it, it can do everything it does, but better, with a little plus. What's that? You want more discounts? We got you! Use code SHIRO for 5%. I repeat, 5%. And that's on top of every discount already on there. That's some sweet deals, I'll tell you that. We here at SHIRO Incorporated always have a big thanks for Apex Gaming PCs for partnering and sponsoring us in this video. They'll hook you up on all the PC needs you need. It's peak!
Alright, now that that's over, let's get into the builds. Now first, let's go over the basics. With ability strength, the main thing you're looking out for is your breach surge and your motes. The more strength you have in your motes, the faster your movement speed and fire rate is. This also makes the multiplier for breach surge a lot higher, so it is good to focus a bit into ability strength. For her range, just make sure her breach surge has about 100% range. If your range is only 8 meters, you're not going to be reaching very far, even with the double range. Efficiency can be a bit of a problem, because if your efficiency is bad, then you can't really spam her second ability for the invincibility we talked about earlier. And now with the Augment as well, she can be very cast heavy. Now with duration, a lot of people will put Transient Fortitude, which is a negative duration mod, but it does give a lot of strength. So to counteract that, we just usually put a continuity mod on there. It's good to have duration for the motes, as well as breach surge, blind duration, and the soul gate augment. With all that in mind, here's a beginner build for all the new Wisp mains out there. With all these mods, you can get them as early as Deimos, and should easily get you through the star chart. Now for the more fun part, the max investment builds. First we'll go over the max strength build. With this you can get a massive speed buff. Energy conversion gives you 50% ability strength whenever you pick up an energy orb. And with Molt Vigor, when you use the operator ability, you get an extra 45% ability strength. And combining this with Molt Augmented, that's an extra 60% ability strength. You can even take this further with Power Drain. This is a Parazon mod, that whenever you get a finisher, it gives you 50% ability strength. And if you use Madurai as your operator tree, Sling Strength will give you an extra 40% ability strength. You can use Zenuric since Archon Stretch works as well, and they stack on top of each other. And Hardened Wellspring will give you 20% strength, which isn't a bad cost for some energy. And lastly, having 5 Tau Force Reds. With this, it gives us an extra 75% ability strength. Now, if how I wanted to do this video, instead of just sitting in the simulacrum, showing you what the build does, I'd rather just show you hands-on. I hope you guys enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that because we got a lot more coming. Next up is melee maxing. For this you can use Naira's Anguish instead of Fused Reservoir. I like Fused Reservoir just because it's a comfy pick, but if you want more slam damage, Naira's Anguish is the way. We combo this with Steel Charge and Arcane Fury, giving us an extra 240% melee damage. And with Molt augmented, with Kalervo's Wrathful Advance, this gets us just above 300% crit rate. And of course, 5 Tau Forged Purple Shards. Now for the last Wisp build, I actually split this into 2 separate Wisps. They kind of do the same thing, so I'm going to put them together. This is mainly going to be for critical chance, for both primaries and secondaries. For this to work, we actually need to use the Soul Gate Augment. First we'll look at our primary Wisp. Mainly for this to work is going to be Arcane Hotshot. Since Soul Gate spreads so much heat damage, you can easily max Arcane Hotshot, which gives 300% crit chance to all your weapons. It is only additive, so just keep that in mind. But with this, we can actually even combine it with Critical Surge, adding another 250% crit chance. And the Archon Shards are completely your choice. I would recommend just having one Tau Forge Green, since the Soul Gate Augment can do Corrosive and can Armor Strip for you for free. For the secondary build, we can switch out Critical Surge for something like Equilibrium, or Transient Fortitude if you want to use a Purple Shard. Arcane Precision will also give us 300% damage for our secondary weapons. And adding in some Topaz Shards with Arcane Hotshot, you're bound to have a good time. And that's about all I have for you guys. If you have any questions about the weapons I used in this video, come join my Discord and I'll give you guys the builds. And it would mean a lot if you guys could like and subscribe. It really helps for a channel like me. But that's about it for me, so I'll see you guys next time.